Right.
Epic.
Evening, all. That's it. Welcome to another Lockdown Live chat. As usual, joined with my awesome co-host, the purveyor of all things Draconem Media, the Surdus with the mostest. How's it, Alec?
Des, you might want to mute.
I'm good, man. It's all good. This
As
is
you
probably
guys can see,
probably the first time we've ever had a child on the show, so keep it coming, Des. It's all good, bro. Don't stress about it. It's all good.
It's good. We need to target the younger demographic. So, with that in mind, we got a full house tonight, as you guys can see. We joined with a band that I pretty much didn't know about until a few weeks ago, which more than likely means most of you guys also only heard about them a few weeks ago. We joined with the whole cast of A Nameless Dread. We've got Tim on bass. We've got Mr. Rhett on vocals. How's it, Rhett? Got Damian, our lead guitarist, and we also joined by Mr. Desmond on drums. How's it, Des?
How's it?
Well, okay, this is pretty chaotic, but we're going to try and make this work the best we can. Let's kick it off with a little bit of a background history, and we'll target you, Rhett, for this as you're the vocalist. Tell us a little bit about The Nameless Dread. How do you guys meet up? Where did the name come from? What? All of that.
All right, so like how we met up, we all kind of, so Tim and Damian used to be in Sorted. Don't know if you guys know them. So after Barent, their singer, left Sorted, I actually auditioned to do vocals for them. That's kind of how I met Tim and Damian. I actually met Tim a little bit prior to that. I sold him a bass, funnily enough. And then when the Sorted thing didn't really, when Sorted didn't happen, sort of got in touch with Tim. I was leaving my previous band as well. I said, do you want to get together and do something? He's like, yeah, cool. He called Damian. The three of us met up, decided, okay, we like each other. We're going to do this thing. Where the name came from actually is all of us, we're actually sitting at Damian's house, like just discussing the way forward and what we're going to do with this band. And turns out, like myself, Damian, we got into this whole discussion about cosmic horror and what it is and what it entails. And Damian said it's like a nameless dread. And Tim and I basically looked at each other, looked at Damian and went, that's the name of the band. We're called A Nameless Dread. And that's just a very brief history of how we came about.
That's sick. Awesome. Damian, maybe you can take us, as the guitarist and producer on this project, maybe you could take us a little bit through the recording process, the gear, your guitar, your tunings, all that good shit.
Yeah, sure thing. It kind of, shortly after that little chat we were having that Rhett was talking about, I said, listen, we know that we love like Lovecraft and, horror and things like that. So let me get something together. Let me just record something. And I recorded like a 30-second, 50-second clip and sent it to the guys. And we just found a really cool sound. At the time I was listening to a lot of sludge and I think the new Half album had just come out at that time. So I was into very atmospheric, very big sounding stuff, very, very dramatic stuff without going too far into the black metal keyboards kind of thing. There's some big dissonant chords in there and stuff like that, without sounding too genty, So that was kind of where the sound sort of got its seed, right? We only have one guitarist, and that was actually a conscious decision because we have a very strong direction and a very strong bond. Like for guys who sort of only started playing together fairly recently, myself and Tim excluded, there was a really good vibe going on, and we didn't want to dilute that with adding more people. So we said, cool, let's keep it one guitarist. I like that because it was a bit of a songwriting challenge for myself, especially being a South African band. South African bands gig every damn weekend. We're trying to not kind of, be out there every single weekend. We all have jobs and stuff like that. But, a big part of it is we have to sound good live. And a big part of that for me as a major gear nerd is, you want that massive, wide stereo sound of two guitarists. So, I break my back every time we go anywhere. I carry two big amps with me. My main is a big Engel 100 watter. I'll show you a little peek. There she is. That's my pride and joy. And that's the mothership that she drives the whole thing. Then my secondary currently is Orange Rockerverb Mark II. Sometimes I also have a Diesel Einstein, which is also a sick amp. So it just depends how I'm feeling on the day. And then I have also a mothership of a pedal board just to, what it actually does, it splits the sound between the two of them. It also introduces a slight variance in timing and pick attack. So it sounds like there's two guitarists even when you're playing live. And then I also have a bunch of harmonizers and octavers and stuff like that. So, you can add a lot of variety when I'm doing solos and stuff like that. And I also wanted that to come across in the album. So those are the two amps I did use on the album, the Orange and the Engel. Like I've got my own little studio here. I'm very lucky to have that, and all recorded here with Tim. Yeah, we put it through his Dark Loss. He has a B7K. When he's live, he's playing through a Marshall bass amp. But yeah, the B7K is a great direct functionality. So that was most of the bass sound, obviously with a little bit of post-processing and stuff like that. With Rhett, so the vocals really came together nicely. I have quite a long sort of weird room here with a double depth over there, but it just added like a touch of reverb to the vocals. And usually you want to get really dry vocals and add your reverb or whatever later, but I don't know, we recorded it just through a SM57. It just really, that mid-hump complements Rhett's vocals really nicely, and I didn't do anything to the vocals really besides some compression, so that was really cool. And then with Des, the only thing that I can't do here is full acoustic drums, because that gets a bit out of control. So yeah, I got a nice electric kit here, and we used the Get Good Drums Invasion kit with a few tweaks and stuff like that. So it's electronic drums, but I really tried to, make it, what, I have a major, like it's a recurring nightmare where someone listens to an album, they're like, oh, he used the 5150 patch on the latest bias effects or something like that, I don't want, even if it's not the best of the best, I don't want someone to pick up, whoa, I know that sample, I know that snare from somewhere, so I try to make it as honest as possible. There's a few, there's some mistakes in the album that not mistakes, but, little, the human elements where you can hear a bit of finger noise, or there's some slight variation. I didn't quantize the drums like to within an inch of their life and stuff like that. Really tried to keep that human element in there.
Sick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, the production on the album, it's dense. I mean, the guitar tone is some of the thickest I've heard in a death metal band to come out of South Africa, we'll just say.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's quality. But yeah, I mean, there's also another aspect, just to kind of wrap up the little production side with you, Damian. The whole idea with the album, it seems like there are no fillers, really. It is a pummeling release. Obviously, you guys categorize yourself more as extreme metal, which is perfect because touching on all the bits, but it is a very dense album. It doesn't really let up. Was that a conscious decision on the band's part?
I think it was a conscious decision on my part. The band didn't have too much say in that. I'm the primary songwriter. Obviously, we all collaborate, after I've got the rough framework together. I want to touch on the genre quickly. We called ourselves extreme metal because we don't know what the hell we really are. We just wanted to kind of leave it a bit vague, We didn't want to we're definitely not pure old school death metal for sure, but there's a lot of influence in there, so we try to keep it a bit vague. But as for no fillers and stuff like that, I think that was maybe, I didn't actually think of it until you mention it now, but I do have a bit of a thing against long intros and stuff. A good example is we do a cover when we play live of Blinded by Fear by At the Gates. Love that song. I've listened to it for, forever. It's such an amazing song. But that damn intro, 40 seconds each time, I've got an edit of it on my phone with the intro cut off. The intro is very effective, but when you just want to listen to that song, so I think, there are obviously ways around that. One, the way that I saw Sludge did it, they put the intros for the next song kind of at the end of the previous song, so that you don't have to sit around waiting for the song to start and stuff like that. But I think it was a bit of a subconscious, no, more, get into the songs right now on my part.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's keep that going, and let's actually pull it over to Tim, because you guys actually performed recently for the album launch, which very fortunate in this time of lockdown for that to happen. You guys have a whole stage persona going, and like I said, very dense, brutal tracks all the way through. How the set go through? I mean, now that you guys have a bit of time to recollect everything, how'd it go down in your mind?
I think,
like it went really well. You know, considering that as a band we've only previously ever played once together. That was February before lockdown at Metal Feast. You know, we put a lot of effort into practicing at home. You know, everybody has the tracks at home. Everybody, you know, when we write, for instance, Damian also tabs out all of the tracks, all of the guitar parts, and sends it through to us. So Des can work on his drumming side. I can work on my bass lines. So we can actually, before we get in a room together, everybody knows the songs pretty much through. And then it's just, you know, sort of getting tight together. So the set went really well. It obviously, yes, as you say, it is very dense. So it doesn't give guys a whole lot of chance to you know, take a break, or, you know, because it's like we are a steam train and we're coming for the heretics. You know, it's, you know, embrace the plague is what we say, you know. So yeah, it went really well. As the venue we played, Jar Bar, the guys there have done an amazing job with the sound. Honestly, the onstage monitoring, and even I was looking at some of the videos that people had taken on their phones, and you know, when you don't hear distortion through a phone microphone that's taking a video of a live set, you know, you've got some damn good sound. So I mean, everything was clear. You could actually hear the bass on the phone's recording. I was like, okay, wow, this is impressive. So yeah, it definitely went very well. We are trying a few things, like with seems to have so much metal, he snapped his in half 2 songs in. So it like literally just fell off his face. It snapped in half, and I looked over, I'm like, dude, when did you take that off? We're halfway through a song, you know? But it had actually like cracked straight through the middle and was lying on the stage. I was like, that is hardcore right there.
Sick. Let's take it over to Des. Des, as you know, drummers are a super rare commodity, and as such, you're involved with quite a few projects. How is playing in a Nameless Dread different to playing in like this Armageddon or Rother?
So yeah, like playing in a Nameless Dread, it's got a bit more groove in a specific aspect, and it's also structured very different. So it's been a bit of a different style that I've had to learn, which has been very exciting. Even the style of blast beat is completely different to what I'm used to, and it's helped me kind of structure and play a bit tighter to previous bands that were a bit more maybe chaotic, to say. I've really enjoyed it, and also the song changeovers and time signatures, it's really been something new for me to experience as a drummer. And I've really had a good time working with Damian and Tim musically, because we clicked so quick. So it was a very great musicians to work with. Damian's songwriting is also very good, and it's very enjoyable to play along to. I just have a lot of fun and great energy. And Rhett just also brings it in with the vocals. So yeah, I must say personally, it's very, there's similarities I can say, but it's very much different as well.
Sick. Rhett, as the vocalist and lyricist, can you take us through your writing process and themes and your love for cosmic horror?
Yeah, so the writing process, I wouldn't even say that I have a process. Like Damian obviously came up with all the music, send it to me, and then sort of inspiration would just strike. As far as where I get my influences from, so a lot of H.P. Lovecraft and the extended Cthulhu mythos, a lot of Warhammer 40K, which is another thing Damian and I are quite heavily into. He's actually, more on the gaming side. I just like the lore and all that sort of stuff. In fact, we've got 2 songs that actually focus specifically on that. And then our first single, Rock With Me, it's just, I'm a major horror movie nerd, so I had to write a zombie song. Also, again, like a lot of sort of spend a lot of time watching serial killer documentaries. So Cold Black that's kind of where the angle of that song's coming from, and the rest are sort of, you know, When God Blinks. That's the most overtly Lovecraftian cosmic horror one. That's kind of where the old ones are breaking through and kind of taking over. The Great Unclean and Enter Chaos are sort of the Warhammer 40k ones. Bleachbone is also again more cosmic horror. That's, you know, kind of about the night gaunts from that side of the universe. And yeah, like as far as process goes, it's just whenever inspiration strikes, I'm constantly making like little notes on my phone, you know, saying this might work as a chorus, or here's a cool verse. And then, you know, as we sort of gear up to the next recording cycle, once we're done with this one, I'll have something to throw together.
Oh yeah.
Sick.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess let's get to the overtly dismal part of it, but it is the exciting part of the show. Let's drive this one to Tim, and let's talk about PR, because as we were chatting before this actually started, I hadn't actually heard about you guys. I heard you guys from an international blog, and immediately I started thinking, okay, they must be using Devographic PR, and as I figured, you guys have, and you've been getting some mega reach. I mean, tell us a little bit about like the whole, them taking you on as clients and how the process and the experience been so far for you guys.
Well, we actually, you know, we'd been discussing using a PR firm because, you know, we didn't want to just get stuck in sort of the same rut that most bands, you know, that we've also been in, you know, over the years. You just kind of start playing local gigs and you never actually concentrate on any marketing or anything like that, you know. And I'd seen something where a guy was a Facebook marketing video where the guy was saying that you can have the greatest product in the world, but if you're not going to go out there and advertise it, nobody's going to know about it, you know. So passive marketing also doesn't work, you know, just chucking an album on from an SA band that nobody's ever heard of before, you know, just putting it online for people to download, to listen to. Nobody's going to give you sort of 2 seconds to actually to listen to that. You might be the greatest, the next freaking Megadeth, but people don't know you. They're not interested in listening to you, you know. So we had entered into, we were contacted by France the Planet, and on Berg Studio, and he started the SA Metal Madness Week contest, and we were one of the top 5 bands to, you know, vote bands, and what the prize, one of the sponsors was actually Devographic, and he then contacted us and said, look guys, he wants to work with us, and yeah, we've taken it from there. He's been very instrumental. I'd actually already started sending review requests out to, you know, any of the international sites that I could find, you know, online by myself, just before he had contacted me. But when he contacted me, we got, within 2 or 3 days, we managed to get the EPK and everything sorted in the format that he needed, and he sent it out worldwide, you know. And next thing we saw, we're being playlisted in Greece and in Brazil, and, you know, and we're like, oh, okay, wait, quickly, Facebook, thank you guys so much for hosting us on, you know. So honestly, he has, it's not just one of those guys who's going to go, you're going to say, hey, listen, I'm looking to advertise my band. The guy goes online and he's like, oh, you know, just, okay, I'll share your post and this. He works his butt off to actually promote the bands that he's working with. So, you know, we are going to go forward, carry on even after this package. We carrying on with him, you know, because we've seen the result, you know, the value in the service that he actually offers.
Yeah, definitely. And it also gives you a lot of usable content. I mean, like, there's only so much self-embellishment you can really give yourself as a band before it just like people are like, okay, enough. But I mean, if all these other publications,
we get it, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but if all the other guys are doing the work for you and saying all the stuff that, you know, you want to say, but you can't say, that's nothing wrong with that either, you know? So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't
salute,
quite
guys.
look like you're blowing your own.
Yeah, you're just getting
Doesn't
the
look
word
like you're
out
blowing
like
your own
anybody
horn,
else.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're just evening the playing fields.
Well,
That's
it's
the thing.
time. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Go
Tim.
ahead, Alec. No,
Okay.
I was going to say, you know, the thing is, for guys like you guys as well in the radio stations, you know, you get inundated with so many requests, you know, that to have something in a professional package makes it easier for you guys and also more likely for you guys to give that band any kind of time.
100%. We're going to just like wind it down, and I think maybe this will be like the last question, and I really want to hype up your guys' merch because it's super unique and super cool and super well done. So I know, Tim, you've been very instrumental in the manufacturing of that merch. So maybe if you could just tell our audience what's available. Yeah, floor is yours.
Oh, awesome, man. Thanks. Yeah, we have the custom Mayan death whistles, the functional Mayan death whistles. As you know, Alec, you got one of them as well, with the flash drive with our album on instead of a regular CD. You know, those I manufacture those myself, hand paint them. We also have some, you know, really good shirts, as well as most of our merchandise at the moment is handmade, like the earrings, tentacle earrings for ladies, you know, because we're trying to branch out to guys and girls, because there's a big demographic that I think gets overlooked. So yeah, we've got tentacle earrings, we've got stuffed animals that you can create your own adoptable army of, you know, the void kind of effect. So we've got those, you know, we've got the shirts for guys and ladies, we've got necklaces, we're just trying to hit a wide variety of things there.
Yeah, it's super cool. I don't think enough bands are actually in the digital age, like going wholeheartedly into merch enough. So I must commend you guys on that sort of respect. It's really super cool what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we'll include links to all the guys' awesome gear. I guess let's kind of try to wrap this up. Maybe Damian, maybe you can get this off. The future of a Nameless Dread. Can we expect possibly some touring after this COVID is over? Do you guys have any plans on making your way around SA for some mini tours? What's going down?
Yeah, we're definitely you're going to see more of us as soon as, you know, we don't want to tour when COVID is still in full swing. You know, we want to have the full experience. We're going to gig here and there while we can. But yeah, as soon as it's viable, then it's going to be fun to do, and we can really interact with the fans and the crowds and make us, you know, show you guys what we're all about. We're very active on stage. Yeah, we're definitely going to look at, you know, the usual suspects, maybe a few of the more unusual places. We'll see what's possible. During lockdown, it was obviously quite a weird time. I actually started putting down a few tracks for the second album, but that's still a long way off. But I mean, it's not like we're going to be a one release wonder. There's definitely going to be a lot more where this has come from. And like the band's just about fun, honestly. I mean, you know, like funny merch and, you know, like just interesting ideas and doing cool things and making masks, you know. I don't even know what we're going to do, but, you know, we're doing this because we enjoy it and because it's fun. So I think there's a lot to come as of yet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Rhett, any final words for your new fans, your endearing fans? Anything you want to plug? The floor is yours.
Cool. So plug. Obviously, thanks to you guys for having us on, first and foremost. Quick shout out to Devo for everything he's done for us, as well as France for his endless support as well. And just to everybody who came to the album launch, everybody who's listened to a song, everybody who's left a message, like, thanks so much. Like, we're doing it for you guys, and really does mean the world to us that our little plague is spreading.
I like it. Well, we can't wait to hear more from you guys, and we'll be listening tentatively. Alec, I think that's it for another week. How did we do?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Thanks, guys, so much. This has been a Nameless Dread. Check you guys soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys same time, same place on the interweb. Thanks for watching, guys.